I am about to jump into Snekkie Ballers, a fast-paced arcade basketball flick game. The moment I load in there is no setup, no menu, no waiting. I am instantly on the court. My only mission is simple: score as many points as possible before the timer runs out. Every second matters and the pressure makes the game feel intense from the very first shot. This is the kind of game where reflexes take control. It is pure reaction and precision. I flick the ball toward the hoop and the speed and angle of my motion decide the outcome. It feels like the perfect kind of gameplay where I tell myself just one more try and then suddenly 20 minutes have passed because every round is short. I never feel locked in. Instead, I feel pulled by the excitement of trying to beat my own score. Snekkie Ballers sits inside a larger universe and it carries the same arcade nostalgia and energy I feel from the Snekkie's world. It is not trying to overwhelm me. It is inviting me to jump in without hesitation and see how far my skill can take me. As I play, I realize that I am not only competing against the timer, I am also competing against everyone who has ever taken a shot in this game. Leaderboards create this silent challenge, pushing me to stay fast, push harder, and shoot without second guessing. There is something refreshing about a game that does not ask for anything before letting me play. There is no required wallet, no prerequisite. I just start. That simplicity is powerful. It opens the door for casual players and it gives the core community something to rally around. Because even though I can play freely, I know there is a deeper world behind the screen, a community tournament's competitive energy. But in this moment, all that melts away. It is just me, a ball, a hoop, and a clock. I flick, I score, I miss, I try again. Snekkie Ballers reminds me of old-school arcade experiences where mastery came from. Repetition and fun came from every attempt. As I move forward, I want you to feel the rhythm, the pacing, the tension. Every shot is a choice, and every second spent thinking is a second. I lose from the timer. I need to move, react, and trust my instincts. That is what this world is all about. Fast, skillful, and endlessly repeatable. When I step back and look at Snekkie Ballers, I see a clear intention behind its design. The goal is not to overwhelm, but to let anyone at any skill level immediately understand how to play and feel the rush of trying to beat the clock. This game exists for fast, short bursts of excitement. It gives me a chance to play without thinking about tutorials, without waiting, and without any barrier holding me back. The vision behind Snekkie Ballers is to make sure I can drop in, compete, fail, succeed, and jump right back in again. It is about momentum, the loop of one more try. It is the feeling of knowing I can do better and chasing that improvement one round at a time. That psychological pull is part of the identity of the Snekkie's universe, where energy, nostalgia, and friendly competition live side by side. This game is built for two kinds of people: the casual player who just wants a quick moment of fun, and the dedicated competitor who wants to climb a leaderboard, earn bragging rights, and push for higher scores. There is room for both, and it is rare to find a game that welcomes newcomers while still giving regulars a reason to return. As I play, I notice that the design invites me to focus without distraction. There are no extra mechanics to memorize, no narrative interruptions. It is pure action, pure reaction, timing, and accuracy. Those are the only skills I bring with me, and there is something exciting about a game that trusts me enough to let those skills define the experience. Snekkie Ballers is also a doorway, a bridge between someone watching from the outside who has never touched the Snekkie's universe and the deeper world behind it. Once I start playing, I can feel where it leads toward community tournaments, score battles, and a growing ecosystem where players can find identity, pride, and belonging. The long-term objective goes beyond just a single round. It is about cultivating a culture, a rhythm, where the community rallies around simple but competitive gameplay. I am invited not only to play, but to be part of something, to share scores, challenge others, and leave a mark on the leaderboard. As I stand here narrating, that is the vision I feel from this world. Snekkie Ballers is not just a game I touch once. It is a game built to return, to repeat, to live again and again. And every time I believe I can score higher than before. As I get into the rhythm of playing Snekkie Ballers, I start noticing what makes this experience stand out. The first thing is the instant start. I do not configure anything. I do not scroll through menus. I am thrown straight into the action. The ball is in front of me, the hoop is ready, and the timer is already counting down. That immediacy gives the game a raw kinetic energy. Then there is the way I control the ball. Everything comes down to one motion, a flick on mobile. I place my finger and swipe upward. On desktop, I click, drag, and release. Every shot is manual, and that means every success or failure is entirely on me. The power I apply, the length of my flick, and the angle I send the ball, all of it determines whether I hit the hoop or watch the ball bounce away. What I love is that nothing here is random. There is no auto-aim, no free advantage. If I score it, it's because I earned it with precision and timing. That makes each shot feel satisfying, especially when I build streaks. The faster I move, the more I lock into a flow. And when the ball flies perfectly, I feel like I'm in complete control of the moment. Replayability is another major part of the experience. Because rounds are short, I always feel the temptation to restart. I might miss one shot, feel the timer slip away, and immediately press reset, telling myself this time I will crush it. That constant loop drives a powerful competitive competitive mindset, especially when I think about leaderboards. Snekkie Ballers does not just live in isolation, it reflects the world. It belongs to a larger Snekkie universe with its own visual energy and identity. The aesthetic here reinforces that connection. I can feel that this game belongs to something bigger, and that sense of place matters. There's also another layer. I become aware of the existence of Arcadian collectibles in the broader ecosystem. While the game itself remains free to play, Arcadian ownership enhances the experience beyond the screen. Holders gain access to monthly leaderboard prize pools, they enter raffles and passive ADA rewards, and they are invited into exclusive gated content. It is a different dimension that extends the world outside the game itself. As I keep shooting, the excitement grows because I know that my performance is more than just a number. It is a personal test, a demonstration of how deeply I can focus for a short, intense burst. That focus is what makes Snekkie Ballers stand out, and it is what brings me back again and again. As I continue diving into the world surrounding Snekkie Ballers, I start to notice how Cardano plays a role, not in the gameplay directly, because when I am on the court, it is just me, the ball, and the timer. There are no blockchain mechanics tied to flicking or scoring. The game itself remains pure arcade skill, untouched by external systems. The connection to Cardano comes through the Arcadian collectibles. They are fully on-chain, inscribed directly into the Cardano blockchain. That means when someone owns an Arcadian, that ownership is recorded permanently, verifiably, and without the need for a third party to confirm it. It becomes a digital asset that exists in a decentralized environment, and that creates a foundation for how access and rewards function inside this universe. When I think about why Cardano matters here, I see it in the benefits that rely on verifiable ownership. Arcadian holders are the only ones who can join the monthly Pixelcade leaderboard prize pool. Their assets give them guaranteed eligibility for raffles and passive ADA airdrops, and those benefits depend on the blockchain confirming who truly holds what. There is also the idea of access. If I own an Arcadian, I can unlock exclusive gated content inside the Pixelcade Games Discord, including analysis news and educational resources. Without that on-chain verification, gated access would rely on trust or manual checks. But here, the blockchain itself becomes the permission key. Another layer I recognize is early development access. Arcadian holders get to play builds of current and future games before anyone else. Cardano ownership is what opens that door, creating a link between digital possession and experiential privilege. It is a subtle but powerful relationship, something that expands the value of belonging to this ecosystem. Even though Snekkie Ballers does not use smart contracts, staking in-game tokens, or any direct blockchain mechanics, it still sits beside a structure where Cardano enables the broader system to function. Without that, ownership would mean nothing, access would be unreliable, and rewards would require trust instead of automated verification. In this moment, as I flick another ball toward the hoop, the blockchain is invisible, silent, but present in the architecture behind the world. It is the scaffolding, not the spectacle. Cardano supports the identity, exclusivity, and continuity of Arcadian collectibles, allowing players to move beyond the game itself and participate in something that has weight, permanence, and a future. As I play, I start to recognize how Snekkie Ballers creates value beyond the immediate moment of gameplay. The first layer is emotional. It gives me a quick surge of competitive energy. It is easy to start, easy to retry, and that simplicity makes the experience welcoming. Anyone watching this, even someone who has never played before, could jump in and understand it within seconds. That means more people can become part of the Snekkies world without hesitation. And then there is the deeper layer. For players who choose to become more involved, owning an Arcadian collectible opens doors that change how someone interacts with the ecosystem. Holding one grants exclusive access to monthly Pixelcade leaderboard prize pools. It allows automatic entry into holder-only raffle draws, and it includes passive ADA airdrop rewards. Those incentives create a sense of commitment and turn the act of playing into something that feels long-term, something that can continue giving even when I'm not actively on the court scoring shots. There is also value in exclusivity. When I have an Arcadian, I gain entry into gated content inside the community news analysis and educational sections of the Discord that no non-holder can open. That type of curated space builds identity. It helps shape a group of players who feel like part of an inner circle, a community within the community. Even development becomes part of the reward. Arcadian holders are invited to access early builds of current and future games that transforms them from passive players into early testers, pioneers, and supporters of what comes next. When I think of impact, I realize how powerful that is. It means ownership is not only symbolic, it is experiential. For people simply touching Snekkie Ballers without going deeper, there is still value. The existence of a fast, competitive, frictionless game lowers the entry barrier to Cardano gaming. It becomes a soft invitation, a way for someone to enjoy something fun, and only then discover that behind the game there is a blockchain-powered structure they may eventually want to explore. I see how players, casual or competitive, help strengthen this space. The more rounds played, the more leaderboards climb, the more conversations begin, and slowly that expands interest in Cardano itself. Not through advertisement, but through experience. That is the unexpected power behind this. A simple short round of basketball can lead to curiosity, curiosity can lead to community, and community can lead to lasting engagement. Right now, as I narrate and play, I notice that there is no detailed public roadmap shared for Snekkie Ballers. I do not have dates, timelines, or specific milestones that tell me what is coming next. Nothing has been announced about future modes, new mechanics, or additional features inside the game. What I do know is that Arcadian Collectibles offer early access to development builds of current and future games in this universe. That tells me something. Even if Snekkie Ballers does not have a published roadmap, the world around it is not static. There is an active pipeline, and Arcadian holders will be the first to see what evolves long before it reaches the general audience, because there are no details explaining how Snekkie Ballers will expand. All I can do is observe the present and acknowledge what is missing. There is no information about upcoming tournaments, seasonal events, leaderboard expansions, or feature updates. Those pieces are simply not available. But this absence also tells a story. It keeps the focus on what exists right now. A fully accessible, fast skill-based arcade experience that asks for nothing before letting me play. It is not trying to sell me a future that has not been confirmed. It is saying, here is the game, here is the challenge, and here is your chance to master it. As I shoot another ball toward the hoop, I remind myself that part of the fun is not knowing what might arrive. Maybe there will be new layers later. Maybe tournaments will expand. Maybe more games will join this ecosystem. But until that moment comes, the only thing that matters is the gameplay in front of me. If you are wondering what you should expect next, the truth is there is nothing officially stated. And that honesty gives clarity. It means everything I feel. Every improvement I see, every evolution in this universe will be discovered as it happens, especially by those with Arcadian access who stand closest to the development process. So I keep my eyes on the scoreboard, my hands ready to flick, and my curiosity open, knowing that the future of Snekkie Ballers, at least for now, remains unwritten.